Hey guys, this is Buford with the Soccer Parent Lifestyle, and this evening we have a very special guest. His name is Michael Landsittel, and he is the father of a committed soccer player to Alfred University. Was it Alfred University?
Yes.
And welcome, Michael.
Thank you.
Okay, now your son committed to Alfred University. What level do they play soccer? Is it D1, D2, D3, NAIA?
It's a D3 program.
Okay, and first of all, congratulations to you and him. I know for 2022 players, he had to go through COVID his junior year, which was rough. Can you talk a little bit about what you guys did during lockdown when you weren't able to visit schools and play soccer?
Sure. So we obviously started with a huge list of schools, some of which he was interested in, some of which maybe not. They just met the profile of, the academic pursuit that he was looking for. A soccer program that it would look like could be a good fit and was somewhere, really anywhere from North Carolina to Maine. And we blanketed many emails. We were able to follow that up in spring of his junior year with some campus visits. But in a very strange situation, right? We talked to no students. We walked around by ourselves. But we were lucky enough to meet a few coaches along the way. And then followed that up with more visits in the summer when things started to lighten up a little bit. And then fall of his senior year, a few really quick visits to campuses where he could actually meet a player or two, an overnight visit at at another school. So it was really just a hodgepodge of a little bit of everything and being really flexible. His overnight trip was organized in a day, and we were out there a couple of days later because there was a window of nobody with COVID and the school was allowing visits. Okay. So there was a little bit of everything.
Okay. Now you mentioned you guys start off with a huge list. When you say huge list, approximately how many schools are we talking about?
I think our original list had 65 to 70 schools on it, sorted, D1, D2, D3, regions, and then, a list of schools that he was 100% definitely interested in, schools that maybe mom and dad thought were a good fit. And then schools that we were like, well, it's close to that other school, so we might as well put it on the list. Kind of a sequencing of what he'd be interested in.
Okay. When did you guys start the recruiting process? Was he a freshman, a sophomore, or junior?
It was really not in earnest until his junior year. He lost spring of sophomore year entirely. So we didn't play, and I guess a little behind the curve. We really hadn't put a lot of thought into how are we putting our video together? What do we want to do? At that point, did he even want to play beyond high school, right? For all these questions. So it was really, after Christmas of his junior year, we said, okay, by the end of January, we're going to have a video. You have to have lists of schools, and then we'll begin this process in earnest.
Okay. Now, going to his club soccer play, what level did he play? Did he play like, state select, it's different in every place, but did he play in any of the major leagues like ECNL or DA or?
They did not. They played in EDP here in Jersey. The team he's on now is a USL team, so an increase in competition there. but it was just a decently ranked EDP team here in Jersey.
Okay, now you say he's playing for a USL team now. Is that like in the is that a specifically USL U team, or is he playing for the adult team on an amateur contract?
No, not yet. It is their U18 USL Academy squad.
Okay.
So the hope is, as he continues playing through college, that this would be something he would be doing. But that's where he is now.
Okay. And what position does he play?
Really anywhere midfield and up, where the coach says so. He thinks of himself as an 8, maybe a 10. His current coach thinks of him as a point striker, a true number 9. And he was recruited at different schools for different positions.
Okay, so in other words, he's versatile.
He is.
That helps. Where does his future college coach think that he'll play?
He had thought definitely in the 8-10 area until even after it was pretty obvious we were attending Alfred University, although we hadn't officially committed. Coach caught him at a couple of the late fall tournaments this winter, and then immediately started, well, you're playing striker now. Maybe we'll do that, which didn't make him happy, but of course he said, whatever you want.
Okay. Now, was there ever any sense of panic because of the COVID and being able to start late? I know a lot of people were panicking, but everybody was basically in the same boat as far as missing COVID time.
Definitely compressed. And I think we were really lucky in that a lot of the coaches we were talking with, they were very openly honest about how behind and how troublesome recruiting was. Many of the schools that were on his final list, they weren't even allowed to go off campus to go to tournaments off site.
Yes.
It was strictly nothing, and send us your video and we'll have a few talks with you. And but besides that, hopefully at some point we'll get to see you play a full game.
Okay, so his current coach, did he get to see him a lot before he committed, or was it just very?
Strictly, some video, and then we play soccer, high school soccer in New Jersey in the fall. So a few quick video updates throughout the fall, and then although we didn't commit until right before Christmas, the writing was on the wall, for those post-Thanksgiving tournaments.
Yes.
He knew he was going there. He just hadn't told his parents yet. So we couldn't do anything formal about it until he actually voiced what he was going to do.
Okay, so in his case, I guess the point I'm getting at is, parents always worry about not being able to play in this showcase or that showcase, but really his recruitment was based on him marketing himself directly with the coach.
Correct.
More so than being seen at showcases.
Yep.
Okay. How important was it that he had his academics in order to be able to be recruited at Alfred?
It was important. Alfred, for him, was maybe the most academically robust school on his list. So, right, there was concern about that. And there was a lot of conversation with the coach about, what will be your expectation of the athletes academically. And it was a big question to us throughout the recruiting process. Who has mandatory study hours, who has somebody to, dedicated to help the team, who doesn't care, because some of them are they're young men. It's time for them to be responsible for their own stuff. We hope we caught a coach that's kind of in the middle. and they do have some nice resources for the athletes if they need it. So he just has to be willing to take advantage of what they offer.
Okay. During the recruiting process, when you guys were looking at rosters, did you notice, a lot of transfers, or did that even enter the scenario for you?
We didn't notice it. There was a school, university in New England, that he was looking at, and that was that coach's primary recruiting tool. So he had, older players, no problem at all about having 24, even 25-year-olds on the team. And that turned Ian off to that team. Like, he wasn't what he was looking for.
Okay. How nerve-wracking was it for you as a dad going through this process?
Pretty nerve-wracking. Right, from the dad standpoint, of course, he, making sure he was going to go someplace that he was going to succeed academically, which was first and foremost. And then once he said, yeah, I want to continue playing soccer, and I don't want to give that up, finding that school that was going to be the right fit, and a program that he can participate in and hopefully make a difference in.
Okay. When he committed, did the coach ever mention anything about expected playing time as a freshman, or did he say, freshmen aren't going to play much, or did he leave it open and say you can just compete?
No, it will be up to him competing. He certainly pointed out, that he had, current first years that were playing, and one of them was, the second, received the second most minutes on the field during the season, and we were able to go look at statistics to see how that broke down. So right, it is totally up to him, and that he shows up fit enough and is working hard enough, and and can play the way we think he should be able to play.
Okay. Well, Michael, you've given us a ton of information, and certainly going to help some of the parents in the group of 23s and 24s. And if there was one bit of advice that you could give to soccer parents in our group about the recruiting process, what would it be?
I guess, even though it's an extremely stressful, it was an extremely stressful year since we had started in earnest, relax a little bit about it. I've always said, for your club play, there's a club for everybody. You'll find a club that fits you. I really feel that, if you want to play and you work hard enough and, do a lot of research, you'll find a school that fits you both academically, that you'll be able to play at. There's plenty of opportunity.
Okay, well, Michael, I certainly appreciate it, and hopefully the parents in the group will be able to relax after they listen to your good words. And good luck to your son at Alfred University. Hopefully it'll warm up before the season starts next year.
Yeah, it doesn't get very warm up there, so.
All right, well, we certainly appreciate it, and thanks for spending some time with us.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.